haven't ridden in this for a while. 3 years, to be precise. And there's a reason for that. A reason I can't quite remember. But here's how it all started. The first thing I remember was waking up in a forest, littered with bamboo. I was lying there with no memory of what happened, and the taste of fresh regeneration in my mouth. Great. I had regenerated. But how? I tried standing up, but soon realized I'd a broken ankle. I reached for a nearby stick, and I used it to help me stand up. Turns out, my foot had been badly damaged. The regeneration energy should have healed this, I thought to myself. Hopefully it's not a permanent imperfection. I felt around in my pockets. Unfortunately, there was nothing. No Sonic, no psychic paper, no spoon. That was new. I really had nothing. But the TARDIS, I realised. I had no idea where she was. Usually I can hear her, but not this time. My companion too. What happened to them? I couldn't even remember who they were. I really was alone. I wandered through the forest a bit, looking for at least something. My foot was aching quite bad, but that couldn't stop me. There was nothing but trees, leaves, and bamboo, until I spotted something on the ground. I stumbled over to it. It was a skeleton. I picked up the skull and thought that at least I had you, my friend. Then I heard a roar from behind me. I turned around, startled. It was a googly. Well, at least that's what I called it anyway. It was humanoid, but its head was like a pig with 3 snouts crossed with a duck. Yeah, it sure was a thing. It tried to get hold of me, but I got away somehow. That bit I don't quite remember. I found myself in a little shack made of bamboo. Again, not quite sure how that got there. Did I build it? I don't know, but it was somewhere to stay. I gathered some resources from nearby, staying in the darker areas to avoid the googlies. It was at this point that I saw multiple of them going through the trees. They seemed to be some sort of science experiment gone wrong. When I got back, I kind of just accepted the fact that this was my new home. In the middle of nowhere on some planet. I think I would have gone insane if it wasn't for Scully keeping me some company. Yes, that was the name I gave it. I spent nights trying to remember what had happened to me, but to no avail. Every day was the same. Get up, find food, avoid the googlies, get wood, start a fire, and try sleep. To the thoughts that were circling around my head. I tended to live off a berry bush I found. It wasn't much, but it satisfied my needs. It was the same thing for 3 years. Well, I think it was 3 years. I might have misplaced some. Until one day when I was walking around looking for some food, a weird Zorb appeared. I started getting giddy with excitement. Finally, something interesting is happening. Am I finally going to get out of this place? And then a voice came, echoing out of the orb. It said, "Experiment complete." Then I heard the wail of the TARDIS. My beautiful ship. She landed right in front of me. The orb vanished. So many thoughts were rushing through my head. Whose voice was that? What experiment? What are the googlies? I wasn't going to waste any time. I ran into the TARDIS, slamming on the dematerialization lever. I turned to Scully and said, "Right then, Scully, time to get some answers." Oh, welcome to the TARDIS, by the way. Speechless, huh? Don't worry, they all are. I found out where the orb's power source was coming from, so I locked onto it. The TARDIS was racing so fast, then BANG! The TARDIS landed. When I stepped out of the TARDIS, I looked around. I had landed in another Timelord TARDIS. Then out stepped the Rani. She told me I had taken part in her latest experiment, that it had worked. I asked all the questions on my mind. She gave me little to no answers, but explained that I played a part in the creation of a new species, that it would spread out across Earth, a new carnivore, half animal, half Time Lord. She was celebrating, chanting, "I win! I win!" Little did she know, I had a little surprise for her. You see, On the way, I had contacted the Shadow Proclamation. Then, I don't remember. Funny, my memory seems to fade out when the excitement happens. Maybe it's the adrenaline? The next thing that comes to mind is seeing the Rani locked behind bars, so my plan must have worked. But the Rani kept insisting that she won despite being behind bars. I'm not too sure what she means. The whole experience is quite hazy up to the point I met Trevor, so I thought I'd write it down to remind myself. I still don't know what the Googlies truly are, maybe I'll never know, but I'm sure I'll run into them again. I'm sure of it. And as for how I met Trevor, well, I guess that's another story for another time.